You're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like what I'm about to say. But the only way out is through. The more times you put yourself through situations that might be uncomfortable, the more times you force yourself to do things that might feel awkward, the more these things become part of who you are. And the more those things happen, the more embarrassing moments you go through, eventually you'll start forgetting about them. If you're somebody who's totally calculated, who completely avoids getting embarrassed, who avoids going through situations out of fear, you're only doing a disservice to yourself. Because through embarrassing yourself, through doing dumb shit, through mumbling through your words, through confrontations with people that, might get under your skin, through traveling or doing things you've never done, yeah, a lot of shit's gonna happen, but you have to get through it. And you have to. Because you're limiting your potential. You are limiting your potential by avoiding the things that are part of what life is all about. When I was in high school, I was the most socially anxious kid. I kept to myself. I would stay at home, play video games. I sucked at all my classes. I would literally just put my head on the table and sleep. And teachers would call me out on it. It would be, I hated school. So literally that's all I did. Fortunately, because I secluded myself for so much of my life, I had a hard time speaking to people. I had friends and I had things, but I felt like there was something missing. Like I could be more social, and I was limiting myself by avoiding conversations with people or being afraid. So I pushed myself. I worked in retail jobs for years. Basically, since I was 14 years old, I worked in a retail job. In customer service, especially. I would force myself to talk to people on the phone, and at the time, it felt so unbearable. Like I couldn't do it. I was too scared to. And look, I still struggle to this day with certain things, like confrontation or tough situations, of course. I mean, or really silly, awkward situations that you have with coworkers. And that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen, right? Those are things that happen. And a lot of the times when we get awkward, it's because we think the other person thinks of us as being awkward, when that's not really the case. We don't know what the other person might think. The awkwardness is built because of your perception of what you think they think of you, not the reality. And the fun part and the not so fun part is we don't know the reality. So you might as well convince yourself that what you're doing is not awkward and not embarrassing. And look, there are moments where you're gonna feel embarrassed, where you're gonna feel like, oh man, I shouldn't have fucking done that, or oh man, I look like an idiot, or man, I could have handled that situation better. Or I'm sure you guys have dealt with something like that where you're in a situation with somebody and you go back home and you think, fuck, I should have said that, I should have said that thing. So even for me, for my videos, sometimes I look back at my videos, I'm like, man, I could have delved more into that topic a little bit better, made myself more clear. But that's what you have to do. You have to put yourself out there. You have to. And look, I mean, unless you wanna stay the way that you are, that's totally fine. But if you want to change in your life, if you want to become better, if you want to become stronger, if you want to become more secure with yourself, get comfortable with being fucking embarrassed. Get comfortable with accidentally wearing a skirt but you forgot to shave your legs, okay? That happens to me all the time, okay? It is what it is. It is what it is. Or get comfortable wearing an outfit that you might not be too certain, but you like it, but you're afraid that people might think of you differently. Fuck it. Fucking do it. Because the more embarrassing things you go through, the less those embarrassing things have a hold on you. The less you're hard on yourself. I struggled a lot of my life with the perception of others, being afraid of what people might think of me, trying to control how people think of me. And that only does a disservice to myself because people don't know me. And people get to know a part of me that isn't in reality what it is. And we got used to seeing people at their most perfect. And I think that we need to embarrass ourselves a little bit more. You know, for a long time, I struggled making videos because, you know, sometimes I stutter, or sometimes I might not make my thoughts clear, or sometimes, you know, even though I speak English, like sometimes words get out of my mind, just like what just happened right now, right? Or sometimes like I misread a situation and I'm really nice to somebody, but then they don't give me that same energy back, and or anything, like any type of situation. We all go through all of these awkward situations in our lives, and we beat ourselves up over what we think other people are gonna think of us, right? So the only way to get through awkward moments, embarrassing moments, is by having more of them. It's by challenging yourself to be a little bit more awkward, to do the things that are uncomfortable. Because there's a reason why you feel uncomfortable. It's because you know deep down that part of you wants to get better at that thing. For example, I hate public speaking. I absolutely loathe it. I would rather shoot myself in the mouth than do a presentation. That's just it. It's always been like that. It's always been a struggle for me. So I put myself out here to work on that, to work on my ability to present it to the public. Although this is a little bit different because I'm talking to a phone, but still, there's a certain need. And the reason why we feel this discomfort doing certain things, I think that that's a roadmap to telling us what we should work about ourselves. And the more we work at the things that make us uncomfortable, the less daunting it will seem. And then the more confidence you have with yourself. I posted my videos even though I was afraid of what people might think of me. And look, I got people in the comments talking shit and having conversations with them, and the more you do that, the more the fear dissipates and it's replaced with relief. So that's it. Put yourselves through tough situations. You have to calculate what's worth the embarrassment or not in a certain way. But life is unpredictable. Things happen all the time. And the more you get comfortable embarrassing yourself, the less control you have over yourself. The more you let things go. You don't have such a high expectation of who you should be or who you should present yourself as. You just simply are. The imperfect, awkward, messed up version of you. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.